Praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans, the number one. That's David G. Evans, the number one. Won't you do us a favor, as always? Like us, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to us, hit that notification bell, and most of all, share with all those that are in your field, all those that are in your posting world. Let people know about On Point. We're looking to reach some goals before the end of the year, and we can't do it without your participation. So share it over and over. Invite people to join the conversation as we continue to talk about those things which are relevant to your life, every day of your life, internationally, nationally, locally, regionally. We look at all complexions of the society. We want you to get involved in the conversation. Our call-in numbers are 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 866-744-EVANS. We'd love to talk to you. Give us a call. We love first-time callers. I know there's a bit of shyness when it comes to calling in. We are a kingdom-based, Bible-based, conversational environment for you to enter into. We disagree. We're never disagreeable. So we love opinions, but lovingly voiced. We're not one of those places where you're going to get a whole lot of drama, but we will talk about those things that may be causing drama in your life. Our co-host is here, Reverend Nicholas Smith. Hey, man.
Morning.
It's been your mic's not working?
Oh, there
it is.
All right. Okay.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We know the results, so I don't know if we need to talk about the results, but we do need to talk about perhaps what contributed to the result. And I think it's a good time to start preparing people for what is going to be the playbook over the next few years. I understand that unless they have some defections from the Republican Party, that there will be no stopping either side or the executive branch, that they've got what they need to get done what they want to get done.
Yeah, they're still waiting for, I think, 3 more congressional seats to, I think it's 3 or 4.
And that'll just bring it close.
Bring it close, yeah.
You know, which again means if they don't get a couple defections, then they'll just get outvoted on everything.
Yep.
And I'm amazed at how President-elect has been telling us who he is for the last 8-10 years. Republican Party has been showing us who they are for the last 8-10 years. People went to the polls like they didn't know. But, like we said Wednesday night, in 1 Samuel chapter 8, God tells them what they're going to get, and they say, we want him anyway. That's amazing to me. And it wasn't a spiritual decision. As I'm contemplating the text over and over again, it was not a spiritual decision. It was a emotional decision that they made. We want to be like everybody else. And lo and behold, they get Saul. Saul's nuts. Saul doesn't care about the people. He tries to actually kill people to help him. You know, but the Lord said, this is what you're going to get. It's going to impact your family. It's going to impact your kids. It's going to impact your work. It's going to impact your money. And they said, we want them anyway.
Yep. Yeah. And something you said years ago, strong emotion will kick common sense off a cliff.
Right off a cliff.
Because people they quietly think you're talking about everybody else, and what you're saying won't affect me.
Absolutely.
Like, only a certain people are on Social Security. Only certain people need Medicare.
That's not true.
Only
They
certain
don't
people
know.
need health care. Only
They mothers and fathers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw something in Project 2025 where people on Medicaid, they're going to require them to have jobs. Now, most of the people on Medicaid have worked a full career.
Yep.
They're on their Social Security. Another benefit of working a long time that they plan to either strip or radically change. And I watched Florida full of seniors vote for this nonsense. What are they going to do when the Medicaid changes? What are the 30 million people going to do? Because I saw Johnson say again, we're going after the health care program with a torch. But they have nothing to put in its place.
Yep. All the benefits that you got from the healthcare program now going to be cut. Then you're going to wonder why. And people keep thinking, rich folk at the top think about the normal, everyday working person.
They don't. They think about preserving their own wealth.
Exactly. So now, if capitalism without reins, they can charge whatever they want. Nobody can stop them. Wait, he gonna make them lower the prices. How?
He is not.
How?
He can't do it.
Like how?
He can't do it. But it's of no interest for him to that.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. So tax cuts, deficit's going to go through the roof. It's going to be for the wealthy. It's got to be paid for.
Yep.
So middle and lower income people are going to pay. The stuff that's connected to increase revenue in business will not be impeded, which means simple things that we're not thinking about. Getting rid of overtime impacts. Watch the next one. Getting rid of unions impacts. Income. Lowering the minimum wage impacts. Getting rid of all the people that'll do the jobs that all the other people don't want. Going to hurt the industry that uses those people. You know, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and this person's in a relationship with someone who's she's a Democrat, he's a Republican, he's a Trump guy. And what's disheartening to her and what's disheartening to me, because I've got some guys that I used to call friends up until, you know. So now her dismay was that his heart had been revealed to her. And this was hidden. So I made sense out of it for her. Watch this. Because he didn't talk like this at all.
Okay.
Then he started talking, you know, MAGA stuff. And she said, I understand. I said, you need to understand you're acceptable. So he might feel this way about every other female, supposedly, but you're the acceptable female. In my situation, you know, I'm different. So I'm the acceptable black guy among some of the white guys that I'm around. But the reality is this thing has revealed something that has been buried in people's hearts. And if you're a reasonable person, you can't ignore that something that's always been there has come out. And the only difference is I'm different. Now watch this. The international example of this is who President-elect is married to, immigrant, who the vice president-elect is married to, immigrant.
I know.
And he's got a brown immigrant. Okay. But they're different because they're connected to them.
And where they're from, too, compared to others. I see some people who supported him. And I'm like, you know, you support him, whatever. You know, my life goes on. It was a nice day.
Sun came up. Sun came up.
Sun came up.
It was remarkably warm when I walked outside.
Right. God was still working. You know.
Birds were still flying.
Right. It's so. I think for us, because we understand. I think from me this week, and I've learned more and more, to be black in America is to be constantly disappointed but not surprised.
Right.
That's really what it is.
That's an excellent way of stating it.
You're not shocked anymore.
Constantly disappointed but not surprised.
But not surprised.
We've been on a journey,
right?
But we haven't traveled very far.
There you go. And I see some supporters that they still look so mad. I'm like, your guy won. Smile. It's cool.
The hostility is amazing.
It's still like,
but you know what that is?
We're gonna get you.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Like, it's fine. Go. I'm smiling. You smile.
That's not what they want. What they want is for us to be miserable.
Right.
Which is why You know, I understand a text went out to HBCU. Someone sent me the text, and telling the college students at the HBCUs that at this hour of the day, a van's coming to pick you up to take you to a plantation. You know, I see that stuff. I've seen some people who were actually gloating to their friends, some to their loved ones, you know, about the victory. Like, why aren't you happy like I am? Here's my disappointment for them. The majority of who are about to be taken care of are not most of the folk that voted for him. Poor folk and working folk are not in their agenda. I've looked through this thing over and over again. How are you going to shift the funding from public schools to private schools? Most middle and lower income Americans can't afford public or can't afford private schools. So the level of education is going to go down.
And it's something I'm gonna verify this. Somebody put in the comments, and I saw it too this week. I want to verify it. When he talks about tariffs, they're like, "Oh, tariffs." He's gonna. Y'all don't know how tariffs work.
They sure don't.
The incoming country pays the tariff.
That's right.
Not the company the country that it's coming from. So Americans are going to pay for that.
Americans end up paying for the tariff.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
Yes. And some businesses are starting to prepare themselves for that. And they're starting to cut back some stuff. So employees aren't going to get bonuses because anticipation of, and if we know corporate America, if their prices go up, our prices go up. They're not going to eat that cost. They're going to put it. They're going to give it to us.
They got to pass it down to us, or they can't stay in business. So it's like this. I don't know how many times I saw advertisements. This is Kamala's policy. This is this policy is her policy. This. Didn't anybody have civics class?
No, they took that out of schools. It's not.
So you're saying people don't know the vice president has virtually no power, makes no policy? That the primary job is to be there just in case something happens to the president?
They don't
get that?
No, civics has been completely taken away.
Calling her the border czar, she had nothing to do with that policy.
I know. But you
that's so silly.
And people keep forgetting this, and this reminded me this year. Again, the presidency, the election is a popularity contest. It has nothing to do with policy.
No.
It has everything how you make people feel, and Trump is a wonderful person at pulling on people's. He knows how to speak to people's feelings.
There's a group of folk out there. Now, watch this. What I find is that our president-elect is not that crafty. And I'll tell you why. He just speaks what he feels. He speaks what he feels. He's got a problem. You taught me this, and I've never forgotten. I've repeated it 1,000 times since you taught me. Oppressors feel oppressed when there's equality asked for. You told me that years ago, and it's so darn true.
Yeah, it is.
If I'm in charge, if I'm the slave master, and suddenly you become legally equal, I'm feeling oppressed at this point. And now I've got this emotional reaction to your freedom. That's all we're seeing. You've got because it doesn't make any sense. If you're a billionaire, who are you threatened by? But you're reacting as though some of these minorities are going to walk up and take away your business. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. And we saw this last time. Taking our jobs, get our jobs back, right? So when ICE started going through and taking the car washes and the landscapers, and they found out regular Americans didn't want to work for those wages.
They never have. Okay, let me say something. And I'm talking from experience. When's the last time you saw someone's roof being replaced, and you saw some Caucasians on the roof? The Caucasians usually standing in the driveway, giving the orders. So all regular people, regular Americans, Caucasians are not going up there for the money that the immigrants went up there for. So now you've just decided what's going to happen. The person getting the roof is going to end up paying more money.
Yes. because now I got to pay this person
Absolutely.
$15 an hour
Absolutely.
versus $8 an hour.
And, you know, my experience at the car wash, bring the folk back that were doing the job before.
I know.
You know, you can't do a good job acting like you don't want to be there.
Yeah. Yep. But again, it goes back to appealing to people's fears, anxieties. And we got to call Democrats to the table on, I don't care whether they like it or not, their unwillingness to appeal to the working class, middle class voter, especially those in rural areas.
Okay.
I'm talking about focus on it.
Okay.
And make it and highlight it. That's the biggest voting base in the country.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And remember, you said it's more about feeling, not about policy. I'm not saying they didn't bring a good policy. I'm talking about the languaging towards that group.
Okay.
And what it shows constantly is, like, for instance, Andy Kim, he just won state senate in New Jersey.
Did he win?
I think it was New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay.
He said he talked to a bunch of Trump supporters.
Okay.
Asked them, what's the appeal? The appeal's always the same. We have struggles with government. We feel like they're not helping us. Our prices are going up. Bop, 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 bop. It was all about feeling, not about emotion.
What was actually happening.
And he's saying we have to learn to listen to what they're feeling, answering the question that they feel.
Yep.
Even if it's not logical.
Yep.
And I don't think Democrats do a good job at answering those questions that people feel.
But I think there's another element in addition to that.
Yeah.
I know people don't like to talk about it, but race is still an issue in this country.
I was going to bring that up too.
Yeah, race, underneath all of that. Because here's what I think the Obama effect was. Not only was the Obama effect, Trump was the reaction, but the Obama effect kicked in again. No, Kamala was the reaction.
Yes. This was 2016 all over again. And somebody asked me a couple months ago, do you think she can win? I said, of course, anything can happen. But I doubt it because we saw America didn't want a white woman.
Right.
Kamala is a woman.
Yep.
Person of color.
Yep.
She got 2 strikes against her with certain people.
Yep.
From the door.
Here's what yesterday was it Tuesday, Wednesday. So I didn't bother watching it Tuesday night because
I went to sleep.
I looked at it around 10:30 and I'm like, okay, she can't come back from this.
Yeah.
So the next day, all these commentators are nailing down her campaign. The same people who said she was running a brilliant campaign 2 days before that. So the only reason the campaign wasn't good now is because she lost.
She ran a good campaign.
She absolutely did. Yeah. Here's the deal. They're trying to blame it on Biden. He didn't step away far enough, long enough. Now, no one can build a viable campaign in 90 days.
Right.
But she did. If money is the measure, she raised $1 billion in 3 months.
Yep.
That's nothing.
Nothing.
That's nothing to sneeze at. So I'm like, okay, either the campaign was well run, or it wasn't. But up until the time the decision was made, everybody says she was brilliant. Yeah. She's talking to people. She's out there doing her thing. But it's like that. It's like that. I think in anything that's being measured by the public, you know, if it's working, it's brilliant. If it's not, I never think that was going to work. Come on.
We're still arguing with people who think the Earth is flat. So it's like, why are we appealing to people's logic when people live in feelings and not demonizing feelings, not ignoring it? I'm just saying the logic of it.
But you can't be ruled by it,
right?
Because this is what you get.
Yes, and I think that part, the racial part, the gender part,
it's there.
Was so strong.
It's there.
So strong.
It's there.
And again, she ran a brilliant campaign. But it's that feeling.
I tell you what I saw. Remember the debate?
The first one, that her and him?
Her and him. She basically drug him across the stage by his hair.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm sitting there saying, white America doesn't like what's happening right here. He was typical him. All they saw was him getting his butt kicked by somebody of color. That's all they saw.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden now, it was the greatest he'd ever done. He was just wonderful.
Yeah,
He was on his game.
Yeah.
He got smoked.
I know.
But there was a visceral reaction to it. They don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like this in almost every format.
Yeah.
Every part of society. Black women are considered less threatening than black men.
Mm-hmm.
Black men are automatically considered threatening.
Yeah.
Regardless of how educated they are, all that. But the reality of this country, everybody would have had to do what they said they were going to do. The white women had to come out and vote like they said they were. The Hispanics would have to stay offended for 2 weeks and then do like the Cubans would have had to be offended. But no one was offended long enough.
Right. Yep. When I went to vote that morning,
Yeah.
that's when I really knew.
Okay.
I'm in line. The line was longer than normal.
Really?
And certain people were there. And the way they were talking, I was like, he's going to win. There was this conversation they were having.
Okay.
And I'm like, if this is happening in New Jersey, where's
It's
this
happening everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think the challenge I have, I was having conversations with family members last night about this. I would love for you to chime in on this.
Yeah.
We've been saying this for years. Republicans may not like a person, but they will vote for that person because they don't like that person
Absolutely.
over there. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. But Democrats are the ones that will look and say, I don't like her, so I'm not going to vote for her, and then get mad at the result.
It doesn't make any sense.
Of what, because some people are saying, well, we don't feel like, they feel like same for Hillary Clinton, we feel like they forced her on us.
Every candidate is forced on you. Every candidate is forced on you. You don't get to choose the candidate. The party does.
Thank you.
We have nothing to say about that.
Those primaries are cool, but come on now. We're not talking about logic. We're talking about feeling.
Well, and feelings can be whacked too.
Yes.
But what I saw, when I saw that 30 million people didn't vote, that meant I don't like him, and there's no better choice.
Yes.
So I'm doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
You watch what I tell you, and I know you know this already.
Yeah.
A lot of people, under the false impression that, okay, we're going to do better now. Middle America and lower income America are in big trouble. This Project 2025 tells you that.
Yeah.
If you can't afford to send your kid to a private school,
Yep.
your child's in trouble.
Yes.
Because they intend to pull money from the public education and give it to the private education.
Yeah.
Most people can't afford it.
Yeah.
They can barely afford daycare.
Yes. Yep. And what happens if they mess with Social Security? Your mom, your grandma, your auntie, the one that's helping out. Now you have to step up.
They're going to
gotta
mess
go
with
back
Social
to
Security.
work.
According to what this is, they're going to mess with Social Security.
Yeah.
And why? Why? Because if I give you a $2 trillion tax break, I've got to get the money from somewhere else.
It's gonna. Yeah.
Most people think, okay, they'll just go to the mint and make some more. No. No.
That's gonna cause inflation.
No. We've got to cut some programs. What are those programs? The healthcare program.
Yep.
30 million people on healthcare will absolutely put a $2 trillion back into the coffer. They're willing to kick everybody off just to get that money back because they can't operate the government continually if we give all the wealthy the tax breaks.
Yep.
So then what do I do now? That's not going to do. We're going to cut programs. So anything that helps folk is what they want to cut.
Yep.
It's right here in the document. Now, but where do we get the money? Middle income?
Yep.
Lower income?
Yeah. People talk about Reaganomics. There's a reason why the first Bush lost the election.
Yeah.
And it's going back to what you're saying. His thing was no new taxes. Guess what he had to do?
He had to
raise taxes because the bill comes due.
No money coming in the cash register.
Thank you. And why do you think he lost because he had to go against it. Nobody. We can't run our own houses like that.
Nope. I had to explain it like that to someone yesterday.
Yeah.
I said, you really don't get it, do you? What do you mean? Okay. You and your husband work. you get laid off. Does Billy keep his tennis lessons?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, we might not be able to afford it. Exactly. So you got to cut the stuff that's not rent, gas, and electric. Now, I've got this mindset about, speaking of gas, I've got this mindset about gas prices that, you got to drive, you're going to pay.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, I'm riding around yesterday, day before yesterday, and I don't see the indicator that I'm running out of gas. Mm-hmm. So I pull into the gas station, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to cost me between $80 and $100 to fill this tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was $59.
Okay.
It's the lowest gas price I paid in years. Cost me $59. Okay. The highest octane gas they had.
Right.
To fill the tank from. I was on
it.
It was it.
Okay.
It was like, call one of y'all.
Yeah, right.
Come pick me up.
Go get you.
All right. And I'm looking. I'm like, so I pull the money out, and the guy comes back. He says, $58.90. I said, what? Mm-hmm. He said, yeah. I said, did you give me 93? Yeah. $58 and change?
Yeah.
So it was $15, $14 and change per quarter tank versus $20 to $22 per quarter tank up until about a year ago.
Yeah. I know.
I'm like, yo.
But see, that's the...
But they're saying there's no...
Yeah, I know. I was in the barbershop. We was talking. I was like, y'all, it doesn't matter who was president. Mm-hmm. Inflation was going to happen.
Yep.
Even if Trump won the second term.
They don't have control of that.
Yes. When you opened everything up, it was bound to happen.
And here's the other thing. Okay, so folk that have no interest in the stock market at all, don't make any money from the stock market at all. So look, the stock market's up. Okay, tell me what it did for you.
Right. Absolutely nothing.
Did you get anything that helped you pay your rent yesterday?
Right.
No. The billionaires and the multimillionaires are excited about that. The average working guy, it can go up and down, and your paycheck is never impacted.
At all. And even if you got stocks, our little $5,000, $10,000, that ain't doing much in
You got $8 in stock from those things you can get by a dollar's worth.
Right.
Your stuff goes up 3 cents. I'm doing better.
Right.
Sit down. Let's go to 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, Evans. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We're going to the phones. We've got Scott from New Jersey on line 1. We've got Robin from Delaware, line 2. Line 6, we've got Tom from Florida, line 4. We got Danny from Florida, line 5. Let's go to Scott. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
I'm all right. Pastor Nick, what's going on?
Hey, man.
Oh, boy. I'm trying to make it short.
What'd you do, watch the Sixers last night or something?
Oh, we going there. We right out the gate, Bishop, like the starting block that we used to use. That's a big train wreck right there.
Hey, two of the guys are sitting on the bench.
Yeah, Maxey's out, right?
And Maxey's out and Beebe's out. What you expect them to do? What team could lose their two best players and still win?
Yeah, and they lost by 10. That's good.
Boston.
That's because they're stacked, man.
That's because Boston is stacked up, man.
Yeah.
I got to confess to you all. Now, everybody's favorite basketball players from a particular era.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm a Dr. J guy, okay?
Yes.
And my premise on Dr. J is that when you think of Jay, you always have to look forward to see who he influenced.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
Nobody ahead of him influenced him. He influenced tons of people coming after him.
Yep.
But I saw this thing on LeBron James the last couple of days. Now, I'm not just talking about his basketball. You know what really impressed me about him? They showed the clip where one of the sports outfits pushed a $10 million check to him when he was in high school.
Wow.
He told them no.
Really?
Wow.
What did it was they said, I'm going to give you this right now. He hadn't even graduated. He said, we just don't want you to go talk to Nike.
Okay.
He sat back in the chair. They living in the projects now. Single mom. Told him no thanks. They go to Nike next. $90 million.
They do, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And it's the largest for somebody coming out of high school in the history of professional football. $90 million he had coming out of high school. But he had the wisdom to push that $10 million check across. I know grown folk, including me.
Right. Would have been like,
Thank you.
thank
I have to be like George Washington. I cannot lie. It would have been me too.
Right.
Look, the young man held out because he realized at that place, if they're offering me 10 and telling me not to talk to anybody else, there's got to be more money.
Yeah.
And when he talked,
and what are they trying to hold me to also?
Because you wouldn't be able to touch
Yep.
him. $90 million was the next step. As a high school kid.
That's insane.
Smart guy. Smart guy. And I just love that he waited for his son. And yeah, that story right there really gets me. Just seeing his son playing along. How often does that happen? I think Ken Griffey and his father, but that doesn't happen often. We all know that.
Yeah. And the other thing is that the Griffeys had generational talent at a very high level.
Yep.
Okay.
But genetics do not guarantee that the next generation will be as good or better.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So yes, he's got a lot of influence. Yes, his son is, playing. I don't know if that would happen for anybody else.
Oh, no.
Son.
They did this for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it for him.
Absolutely.
They did it for the story because it's going to bring in money. It's going to bring in attention.
Yeah, but because the boys, I think the boy would have been better going to college and learning how to play the game.
Absolutely.
His father's a savant when it comes to this thing. So he, but the first couple of years he was in the league, that was his college.
That was, yep.
Yes.
They threw him deep into the pool.
Yeah.
You got to swim.
Yeah.
And he was able physically to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
But not everybody can do that.
Yeah, nah.
All right, let's get back to your question, man. I just want to let y'all know I understand. Yeah. I'm admiring him for not just for his basketball, but for the fact that he had that wisdom.
He's got good business prowess.
Yeah,
very good.
He's done well. He's done well.
Yeah, very well.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And gives back too, from what I understand, LeBron too, also.
Oh yeah.
But they're not going to mention that.
No, go ahead and do your thing, man. What else? You sound more happy now. You sound a little more joyous. Now that you're talking to your friends. Okay, go on.
I know you. I'll listen to it, me and I, when we replay this segment. But I guess my question to you is, what could Vice President have maybe done more, if that's possible, to have won this?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. It's impossible to mount a campaign for president in 90 days. I think she outperformed everybody's expectation.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying what they should have done, but they've been saying the campaign was brilliant up to this point, and they lauded the fact she raised $1 billion in like 3.5 months. That's crazy.
Yeah. And some petty stuff. She's too robotic. What does that mean?
Since when is prepared?
Right.
I know. That's a negative. No. Because now they're trying to imply that being as vulgar and as spontaneous as Trump, that's not the reason he got elected.
Yeah.
They want to put all this window dressing on the fact he got elected because of very basic foundational reasons of division in this country.
Yep.
That's what this was all about.
It was.
We're not having us another president of color, especially a woman. All right, so
that's really what
it was.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I just I called my godmother Miss Sissy yesterday. By the way, she says hello, Bishop.
I said hi,
Miss Sissy, but she said I can't even talk about it. Miss Sissy was just all in all. I just a lot of people got what they wanted.
Well, here's the thing. The remarkable thing about voting, even when you vote for the wrong person, you can act like you had no participation in it.
Yeah.
Because nobody really knows who you voted for. Yep. So there's a whole lot of folk that are going to be negatively impacted by what they plan to do. And just like in the Bible, they told us what they plan to do. There's a whole lot of folks that are going to be negatively affected. That they're going to be despondent, upset, disappointed, but most of them will not say, "I can't believe I voted for this."
Yeah.
Because those one or two things are so high on their list, they're willing to ignore everything else just to have.
If I got to distill everything you say, and air chisel everything you do, something's wrong.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I guess my last question to you guys is, and I'll let you go. I always enjoy talking to both you guys. Some people say they need to get rid of that electoral vote. Well, you think that, if they did, do you think that would mean anything if they got rid of electoral votes down the road?
You know all those redistricting fights they had during the last 2-3 years?
Yes.
It was about making the urban centers in every state less impacting in a presidential election. Yeah. Because the urban centers normally turn the elections in every state. I heard something, a song that was out a long time ago called "The World Is a Ghetto."
Oh, is that?
It's a war.
Okay.
There's a phrase in there. You're turning our capitals into ghettos.
Yep.
Okay. And that song's got to be what, 30, 40 years old?
Probably easily.
1972.
1972.
So it's about over 40 years old.
Over 40 years old.
Yeah.
And he said, they're turning the capitals into ghettos. I said, wow.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow. Okay. Scott, good talking to you. Tell my girl I said hey.
I definitely will. Talk to you guys later. Love
All
you
right,
guys.
bye-bye.
See you, man.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Please give us a call. We love to talk to you. Come on now. Like us, subscribe to us, share, invite people to join us. Mind me to tell you about a couple conversations I had with some preachers from around the country yesterday, especially folk in Florida and Georgia.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to Robin. She's on line 6. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Bishop. Pastor Nick, how
Hi.
y'all doing this morning?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm like Pastor Nick. When I woke up and saw that former President Trump won, all I could say is, God, you're in control.
The same sun was in the sky, wasn't it?
Yes, but Bishop and Pastor Nick, when I started talking to God, and the Holy Spirit just kept nagging at me like, just be still, because something's not right. That's all it keeps telling me.
Okay.
Something's just not right. And I know you've been teaching on the Holy Spirit to listen. You got to be still and listen. But it's just something in my spirit saying something's going to change. Something has to change, because they've already started deporting immigrants where they're married to an American woman. Yeah, I heard it this morning.
Well, they're probably stuff that they've been deporting people.
In process.
So it's process, because Trump's not in office yet.
No.
So it's not like he has control over it.
And nobody deported more people than Obama.
Yes.
Okay.
They called him the deporter in chief.
Nobody, you know. So that whole they depend upon the public's ignorance of things they should know.
Yep.
So that's why they can say something and know it's not true and just keep saying it and just keep saying it.
Yeah.
Because most people won't go check.
They won't check.
Yeah, something's wrong. Yeah. But did you hear where the woman at this college in Texas, where they have some people putting up signs saying that women are our property? It's just a lot going on. I mean, he hasn't even been sworn in yet. Then the I think this guy's name is Bethany. He said that if the New York Attorney General, if she continues to oppose Trump power, we will put her blank, blank, blank in prison. So he hasn't even been sworn in yet, and all of this is already taking place. That's why it's in my spirit, God said, just watch what I'm going to do. Yeah. Because it's just too much already. I mean, what's going to happen when he actually, be sworn in? Now, I'm going to ask you all a question. I don't know if you know. Okay, say if something happens. I mean, I know we got to pray for our enemies.
Sure.
So say if something happens to him before January, will that have Vice President Harris become president? If something like that happened before?
No, they're going out of office.
What would actually happen if something happens to him?
This administration is going to go out of office.
Yes. Yeah.
So now, the most unlikely individual, the next most unlikely individual will be J.D. Vance.
Really?
Yes.
Because you figure
another person who you've got to distill everything comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And you've got to airbrush everything that he does.
Yeah. Yep.
So even if Trump hasn't been sworn in yet, and something happened to him before that,
it'll probably go to Congress, and they'll just push Vance through.
Yeah, because they got the majority.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they said the House, they said there's 20 million votes missing, and still the House hasn't finished yet. The votes haven't been counted for the House. So
that 20 million is not going to matter because 30 million didn't vote.
That's sad.
Yeah, and
hopefully
the margins in most of the states are 200,000 or less.
Yeah.
So a bunch of folk didn't show up to vote.
Yeah, I think people laughed at Trump when he said it. He said, "I don't need any more votes." He knew he didn't. All he needed to do was divide the votes amongst this crowd, and his same amount of votes. I think he has almost the same amount he had last time.
Very few less.
Yeah,
The entire the redistricting worked. How does he win North Carolina and South Carolina?
Well, South Carolina always goes Republican. North Carolina is one that's usually in play.
No, the redistricting happened in a lot of the swing states.
North Carolina, Ohio,
all
Pennsylvania.
All the redistricting happened. What really you call gerrymandering.
Yeah.
So they changed the effect that the urban centers could have on the outcome. That's part of the strategy they've been using.
Yep.
And they've gone to court over and over again to get this thing done this way because they knew they didn't have the numbers to outweigh the urban centers. In other words, the black vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
But something has to change. But I came across this scripture, and I'm done.
For real?
Rome. Yes, I'm
done. Like 7 things.
You ought to be. It's like the 8th thing.
Right,
Come on.
You create the world today?
You know what? That's all right. I still love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. But Romans 15:13. Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace
in believing.
Yes,
and
sir.
believing that ye may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Ghost.
There you go.
That's why God is touching me. I came across that scripture. So just watch and wait. Y'all going to say, oh, Robin was right.
A broke clock is right twice a day, baby.
Love you guys. See y'all tomorrow.
Talk to you. Bye. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We're going to Tom on line 4. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. Good morning, Pastor Nick.
Hey, man.
No, man.
You know, Pastor,
man, you and Danny gonna get fired, man. Y'all supposed to be our news team on the ground. Y'all said Florida was in play. It wasn't in play.
You know what, Bishop? Pastor Nick said the world's not flat. I don't know. I don't know if he's not. I'm not sure about that. I mean, Trump won. The planet may be flat. Down here, I'm sitting in only one of 3 counties that went blue.
Wow.
Not did we not get in the game. We were nowhere. 3 counties in this whole state.
Florida wasn't even on the field for this. It wasn't in play at all.
Now, a couple of things that people say, and I saw it. No commercials, no visits. But I also heard them say they knew they were going to lose Florida, so they did not come here. And I was just, wow. I think the part that really shocked everybody, Dade County, which is Miami, went red, and it's never gone totally red.
See,
really?
That's one of the other things that my one criticism of the campaign again.
Okay.
They weren't going to these rural areas like Biden was stomping.
Yeah.
No, Biden was a little easy. He's a white man, so it didn't have to do as much. But you're right, Tom. I think they assumed, I guess, that everything would be good. But go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, oh yeah. Even something people aren't talking about, and I didn't pay attention, but I saw it. That was a free jazz festival. I'm talking a year ago, because every Sunday they have them down here.
I got some numbers for you, Tom.
And they have Republicans out signing people up to register, where Democrats I didn't see out there. They were behind the scenes for the last 3 years, pushing to get people registered to vote. And they had their red mega on, so you know who they were. And I didn't see Democrats trying.
I'm not sure that African Americans understand their impact on elections across the board. So Trump won Florida by 113,000 votes.
Florida.
In Miami alone, 379,000 blacks didn't vote.
He won by 1 million for her. As of stats of yeah.
As of when?
I'm looking at it right now. He won Florida by 1.4 million.
Now where'd you get that?
This is on CNN. They're doing state by state.
Okay, good.
Well, the stuff is still coming in, so I don't know the stuff you're getting.
Well, they're not finished counting yet.
Yeah, so this is based off current.
Okay, so this was probably Tuesday night. Unbelievable stuff.
I said something last
but
week.
you guys are just callers now. You used to be our reporters, but we gotta let you guys go.
But Georgia,
yes,
he only won by pull it back up. He only won by 117,000. See, those states are like close.
Yes, amazing. Because most elections, there was about 10 years where presidential election was separated by less than 1 million votes, which is close when you're looking at 360 possible. But then again, how many people voted this time?
I think
120 million?
It's
140. About
140 million?
140,
okay.
Less than half the population.
Less than half of the population voted.
Because he only, so far, he's only up an extra 4 million.
Okay.
Votes.
Okay.
Which I think he lost, last time by like 10, I think.
Yeah. He got smoked.
Yeah. So, I mean, those little small pockets would have made a
they were
big.
Added up.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 300,000 here, 200,000 there, 400,000 here. It would add
Yeah, for 50 states, that's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
And this is the first time a Republican has won the popular vote in 20 years. Bush won,
which is mind-boggling.
Trump may have won, but they always won because of the electoral vote, not the popular.
The issue I have with that, Tom, is that I think these elections reveal the psyche of the nation, the collective psyche of the nation, the collective intelligence of the nation, the collective emotional well-being of the nation, and that's what has saddened me over the last few years. Is what the election cycles reveals about our country. It's difficult to say United States when we are clearly not.
Yeah.
Because you can't have a us and not like immigrants. Because most families here, except for the Native Americans, are immigrants.
100%. And as you keep saying,
but then they're
married to immigrants.
Yeah, then there's acceptable immigrants and unacceptable immigrants. And the people who are choosing definitely seem to have the choice. But then the people that are not chosen aspire to be. Now, blacks understand this because there was a time we aspired to be part of, the people that were choosing. And all you had to do is look at our magazines. We didn't like our hair. We didn't like our skin. We didn't like anything about us. So, we went through our period of that, which is why it's so stark when we still see it among certain people, like that Donaldson guy.
Yeah.
I think it goes down to us against them, and if you can make that happen, you can win. I mean, when I saw last week, the Spanish comedian John Lemonzado was
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
When he had Spanish folks that had been here for 1 or 2 generations, and he was playing some of the worst things Trump said, and they all said, "Oh, he doesn't mean me." He goes, "But you're a criminal." He goes, "He's not talking to me. He's talking to the criminals."
They're not going to realize. They're about to realize what it's like to be black in America. I'm getting ready to tell you. I'm telling you something. You can remember I said it. If I'm wrong, call me back in a couple months and correct me. They're about to see what it's like to be African American in America.
And I'm going to agree with you, and I think Trump has found that point where he can, in their brain, they can separate the two out when there's no separation.
They won't separate it when it lands on their front porch.
Oh, exactly.
Their whole thing is we vote for policy, not character. Okay, right. Until their character affects that policy.
Yeah. We got to remember.
With this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but Bishop, last night they're talking about the Supreme Court Justice. Sorry, I can't make her name properly. The Spanish lady. They want her to retire right now because they're afraid she's kind of sickly, and she may go out during Trump's term, and they want her to resign now so so Biden can appoint somebody else while we still have the Senate.
Okay. Because if they don't, there's going to be a problem. We got to roll, man.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, take care.
Bye-bye. We got to go to Danny, and then we're going to quickly go to Kevin. Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Bishop, good morning. How you doing?
Doing fine.
What's up, sir?
How's our favorite veteran doing today?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I have to come to defend myself, and I'm going to have to call you to the witness stand as a witness for me, okay?
Okay.
Now,
be quick now.
Two things that, and I listen, I do a lot of listening, and I learn from you. Something that you said.
Okay.
About Mrs. Clinton, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You told them at a meeting, this is what you need to do. Don't put your everything in this hat over here, but put something over here, and you'll win. But they didn't listen. All right?
That's right.
I said all the time, just make a visit. Don't send your husband. You come to show them some attention.
Sure.
All right? She never showed up.
They say she never came. I can't believe that.
That's the missing piece to the puzzle. You always said we got to play chess, not checkers.
That's right.
All right? That's what they were doing. So what I was doing, I learned from that. Watch who's in the game, who's making the moves. All right? The governor has been missing for 60 days. Okay? The only time he came out of hiding was when we had a hurricane.
Okay.
Other than that, we didn't hear nothing about it. Something was going on around in the background. Okay? When I saw the piece that moved was when they were having this meeting or this fundraiser, whatever you want to call it, in Madison Square Garden. That's where it was. When, in the middle of his speech, somebody came out of the woodwork and presented him with a note saying that this is what they're saying about us. Now, you don't interrupt Trump when he's talking. You got to be command of everything. I said, what is going on here? He handed him a piece of paper. This is what the Democrats are saying about your followers. Okay? And he read it right then and there. He said that your followers, that President Biden was saying, that they're a bunch of garbage.
That didn't help at all.
Well, it didn't help.
Okay? He said that. Now,
but
it ain't going to change nothing.
Those folks he was calling garbage weren't going to vote for
they weren't
Kamala
going to
anyway.
change
So what was the point?
Yeah, it wasn't going to change.
So, observation. Who was the messenger that delivered the note?
I don't know.
Marco Rubio. Remember that name?
Okay.
Okay. Now.
All right. We only got 2 minutes, Dan. We got to.
Okay.
Got to get ready to go.
Give it to you right quick. Now, if you look and see what happened, there's two counties. There's Miami-Dade and there's Broward. All right? She did not lose in Broward, but she lost in Dade County.
Yeah.
Why? Because these people were working behind the scenes. 2 years ago, I was telling you about they were doing this campaign where they're going registering voters.
Yeah.
And people found out that their loved ones who were senior citizens, they were finagled in becoming a registered Republican. And we never did hear anything after that. So there's a lot of behind-the-scenes things that's going on.
We got to roll, man. We're running out of time here. All right. Tell my sister I said hey.
All right.
All right.
And
Talk
thank
to
you for acknowledging the veterans.
God bless you. We're celebrating on tomorrow. Amen.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Kevin, we're running out of time. Would you please call us back on next week? We want to talk to you. But, of course, we'll see you in church tomorrow. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Well, that went fast.
Yeah, it did. Very fast.
So much more to talk about.
Yep.
I want to break down over the next few weeks what this Project 2025 is saying, because people need to know what's coming, need to be aware of what's they're going to try to put in place. And basically I see it as unfettered at this point, since they're basically have control of all three branches right now. And America is not ready for that reality, because they've never had to deal with it from this point of view.
Yep.
Well, we're coming up on the end of a program. Tomorrow, of course, tomorrow is Sunday. We want you to join us virtually at 8 a.m. We see you live in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. We're in the dynamic series on the Holy Spirit. Of course, we no longer require vaccinations and masks, and we want to invite you to 2 dynamic services during the week, our Wednesday noon and 7 p.m. service. You want to make sure you're a part of that. We're gearing up for our Thanksgiving giveaway, and we will be collecting on behalf of that on the Sunday the 17th. The giveaway happens on the 23rd. We're hoping this year to, of course, always feed more people than we fed the year before. Our partners in the community are all fired up waiting for us to help them make an impact on the communities that they serve. So we want you to just get in your head how many families you want to feed. Is the 25 enough, or should it be 35 this year?
Well, we're just doing turkeys.
Okay.
So 25 will.
At this point?
At this point, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 25 right now. Think about that and how many families you want to help. If you need some inspiration during the week, BBC Elevate to 28950 if you want to just know what's going on. Updates, BBC News to 28950. We'd love to pray with you. Send us your prayer request to prayer@go2bethany.com. That's prayer@go2bethany.com. And subscribe to us, as we always ask you to do. David J. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. And, of course, our podcast platforms, DJEMS and On Point. For Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David J. Evans. We want to see you tomorrow. Looking forward to a great time in the Lord as we continue our series, The Unlimited You, our series on the Holy Spirit. And we know it's going to be an inspiration. Know it's going to be strength for you. Let's get together tomorrow and praise the Lord, worship the Lord, pray together, and watch God move in a very significant way. Now, for Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. For all of our technical team, who's done a tremendous job once again, I want you to remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on Point.